What if I told you I have sailed 55 cruises in the last 9 years and have never paid anything more than port fees and taxes? From free balcony staterooms to free play, drink packages, all of this thanks to casino comps. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down exactly how I've done this, which cruise lines I've sailed, which casinos were rocking and which ones weren't. I'm going to go over the machines that I play when I go into a cruise casino. I'm going to go over the exact strategy that I use on slot machines, and stay to the end because I'm going to go over how you can do the status matching so that you can continue to sell free just like me. Let's go. Hi, I'm Tracy, and I am a huge fan of cruising. Ever since my parents took me on my first cruise when I was 22 years old, I have been hooked. I now have retired after a full career in finance, and I am living at sea 50% of the time, all thanks to casino comps. Being a finance geek, I love my spreadsheets, and I've been tracking all my cruising over all these years. And the thing is, I didn't realize until I really went back and looked that it's been 9 years since I've had to pay full price for a cruise. That just blew me away. And it was all thanks again to casino comps. Playing in the casino is just one of the many forms of entertainment on the cruise ship that I enjoy. So once my kids got older, I started spending a little more time in the cruise ship casinos, and man, that paid off big time. I soon started getting offers in the mail and in the email from the cruise lines with further free cabins, and I was hooked after that. In this chart, you will see the breakdown of the 55 cruises I have done since 2017, broken down by cruise line. I have been able to experience the joy of cruising on 8 different cruise lines, with the most being on Carnival and Royal Caribbean. I have sailed an amazing 391 nights at sea with only paying port taxes and fee. Wow. The type of comp cabins have ranged from an interior early on to ocean view and balconies and even a few suites. For the last 4 years, it's mainly been balconies. On the few sailings, we have chosen to pay an upgrade fee to get a higher level of cabin, but mainly we sailed for just the port taxes and fees. I have done 22 comp cruises with Carnival over the last 9 years, mainly in balconies and a few ocean suites. Carnival has been the most generous to me in the way of perks. I almost always sail with the free drinks anywhere on the ship, free play ranging from $100 to $500, and will earn additional comps while on board like wine, specialty dining, money for the candy store, and spa. I do find on Carnival that it is really up to the player to approach the host for onboard comps, mostly because there are so many high-level casino players already on board. I do believe that Carnival caters to the casino player the most out of all the brands, and they have some of the biggest casinos at sea. The downside is that their casinos tend to be very crowded and smoky. They do have some ships where they offer a separate non-smoking casino, which I do love. A very nice feature of Carnival casino offers is that you're able to book up to 3 free cruises on a single offer code. That is huge. You could easily cruise every month of the year off of just 4 offer codes. I also like that they offer comp cruises not just 6 months or a year into the future, but up to 2 years. This makes it super easy to plan out your travel schedule far in advance. It does feel like Carnival is scaling back their offers a little on the lower level players like me. It seems like it takes a lot more points now to trigger those balcony offers. Next is Royal Caribbean. I've done 11 comp cruises with them, and actually my last cruise was on Royal's Wonder of the Seas. My offers from Royal are mainly balconies, and just a few have been junior suites. I love that Royal has been expanding their non-smoking casinos on all of their Oasis class ships. It does not take a lot of points at all on Royal to earn a free interior cabin. especially when you pair it with a next cruise deposit. This honestly makes it a great line for the beginning player that wants to start earning comp cruises. At least at my level of play, Royal does not give out many onboard comps like wine or dining, but as long as I keep getting those free future cabin offers, they can keep their wine. So next is Virgin Voyages. I've done 3 comp cruises with them over the last 3 years, and each time I sell them, the more and more I love this cruise line. I sailed on the Valiant Lady back in July and was thrilled to see that they expanded their very small casino by adding a separate high-limit casino room and added more slot machines to their smoking room. I found the slots in the high-limit room to actually be pretty loose and walked off that ship almost $2,000 up and an offer for a future balcony cruise. They have very engaging casino hosts, and also they were very generous with the onboard comps. I did not ask for any comps, but was surprised when they gave me $150 for 3 nights in a row for bottles of wine or food upgrades. In my opinion, I think Virgin has some of the best restaurants at sea, which are all complimentary. I sailed NCL a lot when my kids were teenagers and have done 8 fully comped cruises with them. It's been several years since I sailed with NCL, but back in May, I sailed on the Joy to Alaska, and I loved the experience. They have good-sized casinos with lots of action going on. At my level of play, I have not received any onboard comps from them, except for some portfolio credits at the end of the cruise to go along with my future cruise certificate. Next is Holland America. I've only done 1 cruise with them under comps, and that was clear back in 2018. I'm not gonna lie, it was not a great experience. The casino was very tight and dead, not a fun atmosphere at all. I continue to get mail offers from them, so I have decided to give them another chance, and I will be doing one of their 11-night Ultimate VIP event cruises in January on the Koenigsdam. So stay tuned to see how that one goes. Next is Princess. This is another line that I did once back in 2015 and was not impressed at all. But then I sailed them again at the end of last year and I loved it. Maybe it's the bigger ship designs I really like. I've done 4 comp cruises with them in this last year and have found that they have enlarged their casinos and they now have a very fun and lively atmosphere. They have been by far the most generous with free play ranging from $500 clear up to $1,500. They are also very generous with their onboard comps, giving me free wine, specialty dining, shop credits, and spa. Maybe it is just where I'm at in life right now, but I love the vibe on Princess Cruises that I've done, and I really look forward to selling them again in October. Next is Celebrity. This is a newer line for me, having just started to sell them in the last 2 years. They are a very upscale brand with great service. I've done 3 comp cruises with them, and I have another one for Alaska booked next year. One huge perk of Celebrity is that they offer free drinks at the casino to all players. You don't have to earn a specific level of points to get free drinks. They also always seem to have plenty of drink waiters to serve you, unlike some of the other lines where it takes 30 minutes just to get a drink. I've only done 3 Celebrities, but they do seem a little bit tighter to me than some of the other lines. Maybe that's just me being unlucky on all 3 of them. I do like that, similar to Royal, you can earn a free future interior cabin offer for very low points. Also, like Royal, at my level of play, I have never been given any onboard comps, but I always have walked away with a free future cruise certificate. And finally, MSC, which I've done 3 sailings on. MSC does have some of the most beautiful ships I've been on, but I do think they still need to work on their food and service, just my opinion. They do have nice and lively casinos. I like that on their comp cruises, they do not even charge you for port taxes or fees. Free really means free with them. They also are the only cruise line that I've been on that does not give out tax forms on hand pays. They do not report payouts to the IRS, and they leave it up to the guests to self-report. So that is a breakdown of my 9 years of cruising fully on casino comps. But you might ask yourself, so how much did you actually pay for these free cruises? Well, I'll be honest with you. When I was only doing 2 to 3 cruises a year starting out, I was not very disciplined at all. I would sometimes lose $1,000 up to $2,000 in the casino just because I wasn't paying attention. So now that I'm retired and I am living 50% of the time on a cruise ship, I need to be a lot more disciplined. So I'm going to share with you my strategy and how I have found a method that works for me to continue to keep the free cruises offers coming in, but not breaking the bank. So again, I am not a high roller by any means, but you don't have to be. You can easily sell all the time on these comps without breaking the bank. So here's the details. I currently bring a beginning budget of $700 as my casino stash for every cruise. I have found that that dollar amount works good for me. It's a big enough bankroll so that I can weather those dry periods on the slot machines where it's not paying out, but I'll be able to take advantage of getting some of those big wins that will help me continue to be able to recycle the wins and build those points. Now, once my money's gone, it's gone, and I just move on to the other entertainment on the ship. So, but the goal, hopefully, is that this $700 stash will be able to last me the full cruise. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But I guarantee every time I do leave with a future cruise offer. So at least 99% of the time I do. So what I do is when I first go into the casino, I'll basically walk the floor and I'll look to see what machines they have, and I'll target the high volatility machines that I like to play. My strategy is to play 2 times minimum on the penny slots. So if the penny slot has multi-denomination, I will always play the 5-cent denomination versus a penny. 5 cent will have fewer lines, but it does give you the chance at the bigger progressives. So to me, that's a great trade-off on that. If it doesn't have the multi-denomination, then like I said, I will always do whatever, at least 2 times minimum bet. If I'm winning well, I will take my bet up. So again, I usually start with about $1.50 to $2.50 per spin. If I'm doing very well and I'm up on the money, I will go up to $5. So here's the exact machines that I do look for when I go into a casino. The machines that I like to play are Rising Rockets, Magnificent Phoenix, let's see, there's Magic Treasures and Dragon Link, and then I also like the Dancing Drums, the Power Trio version of it. All of these are high volatility machines that, you know, you could go a long dry spell, but man, when you hit a bonus on these guys, they can pay out significantly. And that's really what I'm looking for, is that machines that can offer those massive bonus rounds. So if I'm playing on $5 bets, I will look for the Buffalo Link game. That's one that I like to play if I'm doing a $5 investment. If I'm doing quarters, I like to do the 9-line machines that have the nudge factor. So that's going to be like the double, triple, Blazing 7 nudge is like one of my favorite games to do for quarters. You can do that for, you know, minimum investment, but again, those can pay off really well in the bonus rounds. My goal is to play around 3 hours per day in the casino during the cruise. I am a late night player, so after the late entertainment shows are over, that's when I'll go to the casino. So I don't usually even show up until around 11 p.m. and I'll play till up to 1 or later in the morning. But I find that the crowds are a lot thinner then, so that I can get on the machines that I want. It's not quite as smoky if I am in a casino that has smoking. So that kind of time frame works the best for me. And what I'll do is I'll use my beginning stash, and I might play that whole stash that night, just continually recycling that money through. So the goal is to play enough until you can hit a massive win, and then you take that big bonus round, and that kind of replenishes your stash so you can continue to recycle and recycle and recycle those wins, building those points all along. So if you go in and you just have like $100 for the whole cruise, that is really hard. That's not a big enough bankroll, in my opinion, to really be able to build points off of. So you need a bankroll that is large enough that will weather those dry spells. On the first day of the cruise, I always will walk the casino floor, and I'll go over by the host desk to see if they publish a point chart for comps. So I know not all lines do this, but more and more are starting to do this, and I like that transparency. It lets the player know exactly how many points they need to be able to trigger that future cruise credit for an interior, ocean view, balcony, or suite. I definitely like how Royal and Celebrity does it, in that not only do they do a point chart, but they also give you the QR code so you can see the specific sellings that goes with each of the point levels. So what I'll usually do on those cruises, I will go ahead and look. I usually target that balcony point range, and I'll look at the sellings, and I'll target a very specific selling. So that way I know exactly how many points I'm targeting on that cruise. And once I hit that point, those points, I usually will just stop playing, because I don't really want to play, invest enough to try to get to a suite. If I can just get to a balcony for this specific cruise that I'm looking for, I'm good to go. So I usually will stop at that point, and any money that I have left over of my stash, I just pocket it, and that then rolls over to my next cruise as part of my starting bankroll. Sometimes my stash does not make it the full cruise. That is why it's gambling, in that sometimes it's going to work, sometimes it's not. So, but I do guarantee that that bankroll works for me to make sure that at least 99% of the time I am walking off that ship with a future cruise credit certificate. So it works for me, and it really helps me to be able to continue to live 50% of the time on a cruise ship, loving life. The key is to get on the mailing list for the cruise casinos. So this is just an example of all the mail offers that I got while I was gone on my last 2 cruises. So you'll see that I'm getting mail pretty much every day from one of the cruise lines with offers. So it's a, nonstop. And then I pretty much get the same offers, if not more, through my email. So, and all of that is because I'm on the mailing list. Since I play on pretty much all the cruise lines in the casino, once you really start playing in a casino, it gets your name on their email list, and you'll start getting promotional flyers and offers from the casinos. Another way is through YourComped, which is an online website that you can go to. It's a great team of folks. And what they do is they basically will take your offer from one casino that you've got, and whether that's a land-based casino or a cruise ship casino, and they will status match you with all the other cruise brands. And you'll see from this list, they participate with all the major cruise lines. So it's a great way to try some new lines. I've used them quite a bit to try some cruise lines that I might not have tried otherwise. So they're a great company. I highly recommend that you use them. as well as you can status match directly with some of the cruise lines. So here's just a couple of examples. Where you can go to their websites and you just upload a picture of one of your other offers that you have from both a land-based or cruise line casino, and they can status match you. So you can end up getting a similar free cabin with this cruise line. So I've done that with Princess and MSC personally. It worked very easy. And like I said, it was very quick too. I just uploaded it, and usually that same day I was already status matched with an offer on a similar cabin on their ship. So it's a great way to try some new lines. So I do highly recommend that. So I hope you found this helpful. I do have other videos on my channel that go into more detail on my particular plane strategy. So please check out my channel. I just started it 3 months ago, so I am still new at this. So I hope you subscribe, and thanks a lot for watching. Bye.